this game scratch my brain itch. The first ever Blacksmith RPG concept I ever played with was Fantasy Blacksmith. Yeah, it was not the greatest first introduction to the RPG Blacksmith concept. However, due to my enjoyment of watching Men-at-Arms and Men-at-Arms Reforged as a high school student, that shovelware game reignited a repressed memory and want to play a game where the core idea is to be a blacksmith and hone your craft. So with this game called While the Iron's Hot, I would love to share the strands of great game design I see in it, showcase certain problems in the game and possible solutions that meet my preferences of how I would enjoy the game more, give praise to the little things that will make me remember this game for a very long time, and use those little things to compare it to future titles that I review, and lastly, give a score to While the Iron's Hot. If you like the animations, the overall style, and production of these videos, please leave a like. It helps me in the foreseeable future make more videos like this that you enjoy. Now I want to get into the weeds and share with you the feats that While the Iron Hot stands on when it comes to great game mechanics. I always have a good time when game mechanics feed into other game mechanics. You first learn a smithing minigame, which leads to making money, getting XP, creating items for quests, creating items to fix puzzles, creating items to upgrade systems, which then created dopamine hits that would keep me wanting to play this game for longer and longer. I then realized this game had an even bigger overarching cycle when it comes to town building and town management, which is something I fell in love with very quickly, knowing that I just personally love Graveyard Keeper and Frostpunk, to name a few titles, where you have resources become fully automated in the future, producing resources to make your life easier. So with the town, you have similar systems that cause a feedback loop of dopamine for you. I will build a gathering hub, realize I need to find a way to manage it, which then results in me exploring another game mechanic like main and side quest rewards to find a dwarf miner. Then when I realize I can have them in my gathering hut, they can get me steel and iron, which gives me the resource to upgrade said same gathering hut to get glass and other resources. However, sometimes the cycle will reverse and you'll have something like finding potions and magic in the world through the story, and then get a witch that helps you build a potion shop. And the reason why I say the cycle reverses itself is that those potions give you things like XP boosts and even fast travel, which is super useful when trying to get to areas when you're doing the main story and the side quests. The last one I will cover, which is out of many facilities you can build for your town, is the Adventurers Guild, where now you can get adventurers, give them gear, and they will do tedious, laborious tasks that you don't want to do anymore, like get XP and gold. And it cycles in itself so beautifully that it just keeps you wanting to do more and more things. There wasn't something stopping me from doing something else, or if I had some adventurer go for gold, I guess I'll quest to get more XP. Certain things like this in games that have multifaceted systems in their game is something that I enjoy personally a whole lot in While the Iron's Hot. When it comes to the traversal systems in While the Iron's Hot, you have a stamina bar that goes down when you forge items, run, and explore the open world map to find new locations. However, I was delighted to see that after befriending an ox, you can build a workshop slash mobile base to do all the things you can do at home, but on the road. This mobile base also had similar upgrade systems that the town building system had, which gave me more and more dopamine as I would unlock these upgrades through my playthrough. Some of these upgrades are increasing the inventory space you have for your mobile base, getting a better bed that results into getting boosts when you sleep in it, and my favorite, unlocking the ability to have the traversal option of making your base into a mobile boat which then results into several shortcuts for the player when it comes to the open world. On top of those shortcuts I was talking about, the player will be able to reach new areas as well as use those potions for fast travel that I was talking about previously. When it came to grinding and getting the resources to upgrade the mobile base, every single upgrade for this mobile base feels substantial and worth your time, giving me enough dopamine to keep on going and playing the game to see what the other future upgrades are. Most of these upgrades also need schematics, which you get through the main story when it comes to most of them. This idea of the schematics leading you to do more main quests and side quests to get them, resulting in more systems nudging into other systems to get the best out of all of it collectively. There's even a quest where you have to build at least one more facility into your town to even be able to progress through the main story. I really love all these game systems, and it resulted in me having a relaxing and fun time while playing While the Iron's Hot. I do feel, though, that the game beats itself up when it comes to certain aspects in While the Iron's Hot. When it's about hinting or reminding the player of what to do in the game felt more linear than it actually was, which became more of a problem when there was a big break between me playing this game and finishing it, as I went through a small period of depression. And after I had come out of that hole and wanted to play this game again, there were certain things that I completely forgot, such as recipes and crafting. To give you an example, I wanted to make a glass pickaxe, and what took me a couple hours, maybe 3 hours of just like testing stuff on and off and then just kind of skipping it and trying to move on with the main story, I realized that if you look at a steel pickaxe and you want to make a glass one, you just have to look at the basic shapes and then replace those basic shapes, well, at least most of them, with the upgraded material. But the idea that I had no way of kind of looking up onto that without the wiki, and the fact that the game gives you recipes throughout the game, which makes it think that I was trying to look through a recipe through the side quests or the main quest for these things, made it so that it was more confusing for myself. Furthermore, I wish there was more quests actually linked with the town building. There is that one I talked about previously, and there's some side quests that give you characters for the town, but it's quite cryptic with what those characters are for. Also, if just some of these characters had more depth to them, I think the game would feel a lot more alive when it comes to the side content and the town building aspect of this game. Let's say, for example, an adventurer guild would have a character that was like a retired warrior you find homeless on the streets. You help him rebuild his life and then he becomes a leader. Like stuff like that. Simple, I know. Archetypal, yes. But it does give a nice color palette to some of these characters versus just I give you the shovel, now you're a part of this adventure guild warrior slot that I can use to get certain resources. The story has some minor plot points and it has an okay ending, but it is very shallow in its storytelling, and I do kind of wish that the build up to the end was a little bit better. When it comes to music, I wish that it was a little bit less generic and boring. The music that you've been hearing through this entire video, besides the intro and the time I was talking about production, is Kingdom Come Deliverance, as it's actually quite hard to get the music from While the Iron's Hot. And so when it comes to that, I can promise you that it is generic and boring, and it just sounds like typical high fantasy music. My wish for games to have movable bases as a key part to their game design becomes even stronger after playing While the Iron's Hot. I overall had a great experience playing this game, and because of that, I become more nitpicky when it comes to small things that I feel like I could change to make my experience better. However, one of the most popular reviews on this video game is roasting it alive for the reviewer didn't like the lack of depth in the game. Yet, the expectations that they were talking about felt more like a AA game than an indie game. So while I do think it's unfortunate that this reviewer's standards were not met in the game that they wanted to enjoy playing, I think that this game reserves a 8 out of 10 versus a 5.5 out of 10. This game gets me even more excited for certain games like Rika, Pacific Drive, Zero Losses, and many more of these movable base games. The future looks always so bright for indie games, and I am very happy to be living in this timeline. Thank you so much for watching this video in its entirety. If you liked the video, please leave a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more content. Sorry for the huge time gaps in between these videos. I have been learning a lot of new skills, which you can check on my Ko-fi page. That is where I keep updates on what I'm doing, what I'm learning, and the process of making these videos for you guys. I hope you get good rest, I hope you get good sleep, and I hope to share with you the next game I find sooner than later. Peace.